everyone, Garnetta here, with a bit of a review of Doctor Who Series 10, Episode 1, Pilot. The pilot, sorry. So, I've just watched this episode. It is a pretty recent thing, as in, I just finished watching it a few minutes ago, and I just thought I'd do a bit of a review, go through a bit of a thought about the episode. So this was Episode 1 of Series 10. We got introduced to Bill Potts, who I thought was a very interesting character. Admittedly, she does seem to be... It's a tricky one. I'm struggling to get a read and opinion on her, because she is good, but at the same time, it's very forced. Like how she seems to be the one to ask the questions that nobody else does, and some of the questions are quite interesting. Like her bringing up, why is TARDIS called TARDIS? Surely, if the Doctor was Gallifreyan, the initials don't make sense. She made a good argument there, but at the same time, it feels a bit forced. It's like how when she first goes in the TARDIS and starts calling it like a kitchen because they need to break the mould, and then they have the slow logical thing. I like the slow logical thing, but at the same time, Bill was portrayed as a smart enough character to not have to go step by step. It wasn't like, oh, it's a breakthrough, it's a lift, it can get to anywhere in university. It felt like it was one of those where it was a bit too forced. One other thing that did sort of get me about Bill, and please note, just a quick statement now, I have no thing against the gay community or anything like that in the slightest, but it felt like the first 5 minutes of the episode was just sort of pushing that Bill was gay down our throats, and I get that it is a relevant part of the story. That is one thing. It does tone down after 5 minutes, and it is a relevant part of the story. That is largely why what happens. But at the same time, they just I don't know, by the time we got to the third or fourth example of, oh look, I'm definitely gay, it felt a bit too forced. Saying that, I do understand the difference. Most people, when they see a character, assume they are straight, so they need to clarify that point with it being so big. I just think that when they have the chip story about the person she fancies, so gives extra chips, I feel like the whole part about how I don't need to look out for men sort of thing was very much, yeah. And then the whole in the bar with Heather and all that. And yeah, in the bar with Heather had a payoff, but still, it just felt like they were ramming it down a little bit too much with that. And I would say that with any character, if they were doing any characters' relationships like that, I think that would have been a big problem. I think they had to, because of it being unconventional in TV. I mean, we are in 2017, that is a very accepted thing now, but at the same time, in TV, it's not the conventional thing. You kind of need to force it in. But yeah, overall, I think the episode was quite interesting. It was one of those mediocre ones, to be honest. I'm not going to say it was spectacular, but it did set up quite well. We got to know Bill. She does seem quite courageous, yet at the same time not stupid. It's like when she's in the shower, she does go in and she does look, and then when she actually sees the eye, when she realizes something's going on, she does run away. It's not like she's completely stupid about that. I also love the ending to this episode. I'm going to keep it spoiler-free, but it's such a simple ending, yet so effective at the same time. When I saw sort of how long was left, I was sure that it was going to have to be a two-parter because, yeah, but at the same time, it is a matter of just so much simplicity. And this episode does leave us quite a few unanswered questions. Now, the problem that I have is that they haven't really given us anything to go on. I am going to try and figure a few things out. I am coming up with a theory for tomorrow. I have one which so far has not yet been disproved, and as a matter of fact does sort of tie in with one of my theories. But yeah, overall I'd say there are 4 questions we need to be asking at the end of this episode. The first one is about Bill's parents. I think that one is sort of a little bit possibly ignorable, but it is noted that she doesn't have any parents. And usually if they don't have parents, that is significant for some reason. Saying that when they do have parents, they just ignore it. Look at Amy's parents. Though it was significant that they were missing, and then second that she had them, it just got swept under the rug. Same with Clara. Clara lost her mother, and that mother losing was significant, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter what family she's got left in her entire series is. So yeah, so I think that we're going to see a bit more of her parents. Then the obvious one is what is in the vault. The Doctor is on a mission, as is Nardo with him, to guard a vault. and it never gets explained what's in it. All we know is that he's apparently been there for over 50 years. I'm going to guess that when they say over 50 years, they're referring to 54 years when the series started. I'm going to guess that whatever it was put in 1963, because just, yeah, that seems like the sort of thing they're going to do. They've got a bit too close to the 54-year mark for us not to assume that. But yeah, we don't know who was promised anything, and we don't know what's in the vault. Do have a little bit of a theory, and it's obviously going to be part of the big... That's obviously going to go in for during the series finale. The third question is about Susan's picture. For me, I find it a bit odd that the Doctor has Susan's picture there. I think that may be a hint as to who he promised. I think it may have been Susan he promised, though I can't figure out what on earth he would have promised to look after. Especially seeing that in the scene where he is talking to the pictures in the TARDIS, it was very much... Although it was all in the Doctor's head, Susan was begging him to go away. And I think that if Susan was the one that asked him to stay, then he wouldn't have that in his head. But yeah, at the same time, it does seem like Susan has an important part for some reason. I get immediately that she is his granddaughter. For those of you who aren't fans of the classic, that is a pretty big thing. That she is his granddaughter, and they were close, but then since she left, she's barely been a part of it. She had a small part in Big Finish, but at the same time, that is one of the few Big Finishes that I've actually listened to, and not a sizable part, nothing to leave an impact to have him now being affected. She was in 5 Doctors, and that's sort of the only thing we've seen of her since she left. So I think it's a bit odd that she suddenly just popped back up on the scene. I think that there is definitely going to be some form of a reappearance there. And then the final question, and this is one which is very obvious at the beginning of the episode, but I think might get forgotten about in lieu of the vault question. Why did Heather have star in her eyes? It was made very clear that it wasn't a birth defect. It might have just been a birth defect, but I don't think so. I think that was definitely supposed to be one of those things. Bill makes it very clear that she doesn't think it's a birth defect, and at the same time, Heather very much snappily shrugs it off. So yeah, what was that star in her eye? What was the big deal with that? There's sort of 4 big questions that I think are going to get answered through the series. Not too sure about the Bill's parents. Pretty sure about the other 3, though. I'm pretty sure that by the end of the series, we'll know what's in the vault, where the star in the eye came from, and what Susan's relevance is in all of this. So yeah, overall, I'd say it's a good episode. It set up the series well, but it is one of those where I think that other than starting the series off, it didn't achieve that much. I don't think it's going to go down as one of these greats, but I'm definitely happy I watched it. I'm definitely going to watch it again, quite a few times actually, because I'm going to try and get every hint we can about the vault, because I do have a sort of semi-theory which will probably be released tomorrow about what is in the vault. And yeah, but other than the sort of setting up for the series arc, there isn't really that much in there, and I don't think it's going to become a fantastic episode other than just the general stuff. It's kind of like, I'd say it's on the level of Smith and Jones, if I was to compare it to another episode. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the episode down below. Did you think it was good? Am I being too harsh on it by saying it's a mediocre one, or am I being too nice on it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you next time.
The Garneto is the best. You will like, comment, and subscribe.